Mango Mussolini now wants to go full-on Stalin and start investigations into political opponents. That's right, Taco Trump wants to add hot sauce to his presidency by ordering the Justice Department to investigate people he wants investigated. The response of congressional Republicans is overwhelming, of course. You will recall that during the Biden administration, congressional Republicans were constantly venting their spleen over the weaponization of the Justice Department. Here's their latest reaction. And this wasn't Trump rage posting in the middle of the night. This was a full-on executive order calling for the investigation of President Joe Biden and his aides. The order states that an investigation will be conducted into whether certain individuals unconstitutionally exercised the authorities and responsibilities of the President Biden and conspired to deceive the public about Biden's mental state, and any agreements between Biden's aides to cooperatively and falsely deem recorded videos of the president's cognitive ability as fake. This is coming from the man who just got done retweeting a conspiracy theory about Biden less than a week ago. But that is now the order of things in this White House, where the person at the top has always been a boorish dimwit and now suffers from serious mental decline and dementia. Trump is always looking for two things: praise from the people who surround him to make up for the fact that daddy didn't love him, and ideas on how to strike out against his opponents. Again, because daddy didn't love him. And then he surrounds himself with enablers who rush to give the Taco King what he wants in order to gain some power, prestige, and wealth themselves. Just ask Michael Cohen, who went to jail playing that game. But of course, you don't have to go to the past for that kind of proof. Just ask Pam Bondi, the joke of an attorney general, whose ineptitude is surpassed only by her unscrupulousness. Pam Bondi is the only attorney general who could make you wish Jeff Sessions was attorney general again. But in this case, CNN has identified that the young and plucky lawyer looking to make a name for himself is none other than former ambulance chaser Ed Martin, who is neither young nor plucky and has already shown himself to be completely inept as an interim AG for the District of Columbia and is under investigation for, wait for it, ethics violations. So Martin is inept and corrupt. That's always a perfect resume for the Trump administration, and it led to Trump choosing Martin to lead the Justice Department's Weaponization Working Group. This is the group responsible for writing this executive order, and you can tell because in addition to the whole Biden was senile conspiracy theory, the order includes investigating Biden's use of the auto pen. Just like wacky Peter Navarro is the only economist in the world that thinks tariffs are a good thing, Martin is the only lawyer in the world who thinks that the use of the auto pen nullifies anything the president signs. Biden did not take the executive order lying down. He quickly responded with a statement reminding everyone who the sane person is in this story. Let me be clear. I made the decisions during my presidency. I made the decisions about the pardons, executive orders, legislation, and proclamations. Any suggestion that I didn't is ridiculous and false. But then Dark Brandon went on to punch Trump right in the nuts, saying, "This is nothing more than a distraction by Donald Trump and congressional Republicans who are working to push disastrous legislation that would cut essential programs like Medicaid and raise costs on American families, all to pay for tax breaks for the ultra-wealthy and big corporations." Biden is right, of course. This is all a major distraction from the humiliating way Trump is being spit roasted by the dearly departed Elon Musk and by congressional Republicans who are now finding it very much in vogue to bash the big, beautiful budget buster bill that Trump wants so badly. Add to that his foreign policy of holding all the cards image blowing up in his face, as Zelensky showed he was holding all the cards after all, when Ukraine blew up over 40 Russian bombers and AWACS planes using drones. So yes, this is a distraction, but as with everything else this administration does, it's so much more. First and foremost, this investigation is a first step to render Biden appointments and decisions illegal. It is meant to start a process of removing Biden judges and legislation that Trump's team doesn't approve of. And as with everything else, the audacity and sheer ridiculousness of their claims means nothing. The gang who couldn't shoot straight will still remove these people, fight it out in court, and then take it to the Supreme Court, causing chaos all the while and holding the upper hand while they do. And there's one other sinister reason for this investigation. Trump's team is insulating themselves from future investigations into their own cover-up of how mentally deficient Trump is. They've already played this game before with election fraud. We were all eye-rolling and incredulous that Trump's collection of clowns kept up the election fraud cry all the way to 2024. But now we know why. They themselves committed all kinds of election fraud in 2024, but Team Harris and the DNC felt like they were the last people on earth to cry fraud because then they would look like Trump. Well, a judge in Rockland County, New York, disagrees, and an election fraud case is going forward in that court. But for now, demented Donnie gets to hide behind his executive orders while the court jesters run the country. Reporting from Rome, I'm Anthony Vincent Gallo for Occupy Democrats.